Hey everyone, it's your girl Molly. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be answering 3 questions about my rhinoplasty journey and a little bit more insight about how I came about doing this surgery. And I'm hoping that some of that information can help you on your own journey and make some decisions about it too. It has been 1 year since I got my nose done, and even though I'm still healing, even though it's a year later, I am really happy with the results. There are some things that I think for another video that I didn't expect, but I think I would still, knowing that, I would still go through with it because it has been such a great thing for me and my self-esteem and my confidence, and it really has made a big difference. So if you are looking to get your nose done or you recently got it done, I hope that it turns out to be everything that you want it to be. So the first question is, why did I decide to get my nose done? And I knew for a really long time that I wanted to get my nose done because I hated my nose. And as I got older, like I learned to be confident in my own skin, well, a little bit more. But I would still look at pictures and I would see my nose, and I just like having to delete photos that I thought were cute just because of how my nose looked. That's kind of like, I mean, it's sad. Thinking back, I realized that in middle school, I actually had issues with my nose already because I already had a big nose, and I actually didn't like smile with my teeth ever because I felt like my nose looked bigger. And I ultimately got it done because of myself, because I wanted to do it. But I did get made fun of like by my cousins, so they used to call me Narizona, which is big nose. And I don't know that it was necessarily, I mean, I guess it would be bullying, but I mean, I didn't really care what they thought. I was always the kid that I didn't care what you thought. Even when I was telling people that were close to me that I was going to get my nose done, and they would be like, oh, but it's fine, it's fine. And I'm like, honestly, like, I don't care what you think. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't care what you think because it's about what I think and how I feel about in my own skin. That is just like the mental part, I guess. But physically, my nose had a hook on it. So it was kind of like long. So when I smiled, it just like, my tip of my nose looked like it almost touched the top of my lip. I had a bump going this way, and then I also had like where it widened. So with all that, like, and taking pictures, so I've always liked to take pictures, and how the light would hit my nose, like it would just emphasize it because all my face would be in a shadow, and then you'd have my nose like highlighted with the sun. Um, and so it just had like issues, and I don't know. My mom says that I could have broken my nose when I was small, and that's one of the big reasons why people get like a bump, because they break it and they don't. I mean, they never go to a doctor and things like that, and so a lot of people have um, bumps on their nose for that. I mean, some of them are just born that way, but I don't know if it was ultimately because of that, because both my parents kind of have that little, what we call the perico nose, which is like the little droopy tip. So it could have been a combination of things, genetics, maybe a bump, something. So yeah, so I didn't think it was like the prettiest nose, and I had a big nose. Like, honestly, I had a big nose. And I just didn't think that it fit my features. So I chose my surgeon in Spokane, Washington, because when I looked at his before and afters, in one of them, and actually a few, I saw my nose. Like, I saw people with the exact nose that I had, and then the results were such a natural look and it fit their face so well that I'm like, that's what I want. Like, I do not want a nose that was going to be like super tiny or that was going to look super overdone. I wanted something natural. And I looked at surgeons in Seattle. There was one specific one that, I mean, I can't remember the name of it, but he had really good reviews. He had, really almost 5 out of 5 stars, and he seemed promising. However, when I looked at his photos, I noticed that all of his before and afters, the afters, everybody had their nose pointed up. And I really didn't, I do not like that look. I know that some people do, but I do not like showing my nostrils. I didn't want it, pointed upwards. I don't think that looks natural unless that's how you were born and, that fits your face. So that concerned me. And I looked through a few others, and there was another doctor that was in like the Tri-Cities area, and he was good, but like his perfect wasn't consistent. Or, I mean, maybe it was his perfect, but my idea of what I wanted like wasn't consistent throughout his before and after. So I was like, And another big thing is that the doctor that I went to, he is a facial plastic surgeon. So that is all he does. Versus these other doctors, they do rhinoplasties and tummy tucks and boobs and butt lifts. Like they just kind of do everything. My surgeon, he does rhinoplasties every single week. So I know that is like one of his specialties. And so I really like that. So to recap, just because I know I bounce everywhere, and these are a few things that I didn't mention. So the surgeon that I went to, he is actually has a lot of awards. He teaches surgeons. He does a lot of I don't know, like seminars and different things and classes for upcoming surgeons. So I know that he's always learning and trying to stay up to date with like the latest technology. And he goes for that natural look. So he wants to do something natural. And he has, years of experience. So that's how I ended up choosing him. And last but not least, the last question is, what was your biggest fear? And the reason I wanted to put this last is because some of my fears, like they would come up, but I had to keep talking myself out of it by knowing that I chose the right surgeon. And this is so important because when you go through the recovery process, there's going to be things that you're like, oh, what the heck? Or maybe your nose is not healing as quickly, or it looks a certain way, or it looks lopsided, or I don't know what. But you have to be confident that you chose the right surgeon. My biggest fear with having surgery for my nose was not getting the results that I wanted. Looking at myself and not seeing myself. And if you haven't watched my other videos about after I get my cast off, when I am talking to you guys after my rhinoplasty, I get emotional because I was just like so relieved when I saw myself and I saw myself. It was like a relief, and it is so scary, especially for myself. Like I like to have control of things, and when I don't, like it just freaks me out. But obviously, like your face is so important. So yes, I was very, very scared that I was going to end up with something that I didn't like. I was very scared that my nose would be too pointy up, that it would be too small, that I don't know, something would go wrong. I mean, I've watched a lot of videos of things that have gone wrong. But I had reassurance, and I had to keep reassuring that part of me that I chose the right surgeon, that the surgeon was going to give me what I wanted. And I repeated to him so many times. I'm like, I want my nose to be parallel. I just want, for you to take off just enough. I want natural. I want X, Y, and Z, the same things. And I knew we were on the same page, but I felt good about be able to do that. So that was, I think, I don't know what other fears people would have, but obviously there's things that can go wrong. Like I was never scared of actually having surgery. I've had surgery before for other things, and I'm not scared of that process. But yeah, just being able to look at yourself and feel like yourself, I think that's like the biggest thing. So I was scared. I was scared about that. Even though I did want to look different, but there's something like, I guess I did want to look different. But having this nose feels like me, like this felt right. So looking at myself and not feeling that, that was pretty scary. But again, do your research. That is so important for you to get the right surgeon and know exactly what you want, and do not be afraid to repeat it, to emphasize it, to get the before and after. You know, they do those pictures where they can kind of show you what it will look like. Don't be scared to ask questions, because this is about you. No matter how good that surgeon is, at the end of the day, you have to live with that choice. And revisions are really expensive and pretty hard once you have less to work with. So those are three important questions that I think you need to ask yourself if you're going on this journey. And so you can walk through those and get the best results. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one.